Hey, what's happening?
Brother, what's up?
This is a groovy party, man.
Yeah,
I
brother,
can
like
dig it.
solid. Right on.
Hey, man, what's your name?
Mother, there's too many of you crying.
Hey, Cardi.
Brother.
Hey, man, I'm gonna ask you to play this all the way through.
Okay.
All right. Listen to the lyrics. Turn it up a little
To
bit.
bring some love in here today. Yeah. Father, we don't need to escalate. You see, war is not the answer.
I know the lyrics now, Earl. Listen.
You know we've got to find a way to bring some love in here today. Picket lines and picket signs. Don't punish me with brutality. Talk to me so you can see what's going on. What's going on? Yeah, what's going on? Oh, what's going on? Right on. Right on. Right.
All right. So I've been listening to that song since it first came out in 1971. And if you listen to the lyrics of it, you can contrast it with what is happening today. What's going on, man? There's so much going on in this nation and in the world that song, wherever I am, whatever I'm doing, it's going to remain a part of me. And so, again, here it is. I was 17 years old when it came out. So, here I am now, 71 years old,
Irrelevant.
soon to be 71 years old. That's over 50, I don't know, do the math, 52, 53 years. And it still sounds to me as great as it did, the message, when I was a 17-year-old boy. Anyway, now that we've got that behind us, I am excited as always to welcome my good friend, Dr. Omar the Pharmacist, the proprietor of Welltopia Pharmacy. And I will say this, we're officially in the pharmacy with Dr. Omar the Pharmacist. Good morning to you, my friend. How you doing?
Good morning, Earl. I'm doing great. I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing fine, man. It's great to see you. It's always great to see you. You've got a great message, as always.
Thank you, Earl.
So listen, I said to you, and for people who don't know, this is your and my last time on in this environment, on the airway in this environment. It's not the last time you and I are going to be doing great things, because in my podcast series, Dr. Omar the Pharmacist is going to be there
Thank you.
because of what you have brought to the table and what this means. Since the first time you and I met, Dr. Omar, and started talking, and I realized that your voice needs to be heard, because your voice is a voice of life. And what you do is invaluable. And so your voice should remain always on the airwaves in some way, shape, or form, because people don't know. We're not doctors. We don't know our physiology. We don't know the importance of how we can preserve the greatest gift given, and that's a human life. We don't know anything about those things, and we also don't know that there are entities out here who are looking to make money, and money has more value than the human life. And so we need your guidance to help us understand and maintain this body that we have. So with that having been said, man, thank you for all of what you've done. But with you and I, it's only a beginning, and we're going to make sure that people hear our voices, at infinitum.
Thank you, Earl. Well, it's an honor to be in the business of helping to change people's lives, because I believe if you offer someone good information that makes them take one step in their life to be better, then you are a good person to this person. And that's the environment we want to create. We want to create good people around good people. And by good, I mean we're all growing. And the show has given me the opportunity to talk to an audience, and it has been a privilege and an honor. So thank you for that opportunity, for sure.
Well,
Looking forward to the future things that we'll do together.
so Dr. Omar, you wanted to talk about a second brain, and and your imagination can kind of run, away with what people may think the second brain is. But let's talk a little bit about what a second brain is.
Yes, your gut is more than a digestive organ. Your gut is your second brain. And the conversation that's known as the gut brain axis, this actually has a scientific value, because in the gut we have something called enteric nervous system, ENS, that has over 500 million neurons woven into the lining of the gut. It's like a mini brain, so sophisticated. It's dubbed the second brain. It's got enough firepower to run digestive solo. digestion solo, but it doesn't stop there. It's actually in constant contact with your brain via the vagus nerve. So this like gut-brain axis, think of it as a high-speed highway linking a bustling city, which is your gut, to the central headquarters, your brain. When the city is thriving, signals are clear, and when it's in chaos, the whole system feels it. So think of patients with brain fog and ADHD struggling with focus. A 2022 Nature study found gut bacteria churn out dopamine, the focus neurotransmitter. An imbalanced gut can stall production, leaving you foggy and scattered. Think of an anxiety and depression. Feeling down, well, 90%, 85 to 90% of serotonin, your mood lifting chemicals, is made in the gut. Research in gut microbes in 2023 shows that gut dysbiosis, which imbalance in the bacteria and culture in the gut, doubles your odds of an anxiety and depression. And looking at the other way, which is the chronic gut conditions, irritable bowel syndrome, and Crohn's. And these conditions, they actually, patients with those conditions have more probability to develop depression and an anxiety. So we cannot now isolate the gut from the brain. Actually, I was sitting yesterday with a psychiatrist who has an ADHD clinic, and he was telling me that the patients that he uses the fixation of the gut and treating patients with the medication in addition to probiotics and omega-3, and he just personalized the course for patients. He realizes that after a few months looking at the cognitive scores and the development of their brain health, they thrive better, they do better, and the numbers are showing it. So we have to respect our gut, think of it as the second brain, and offer it the love that it deserves.
So let me, having said those things, Dr. Omar, you make me think in this wise. Um, so science, the advancement of science, is why you can talk about the things you're talking about now. 40 years ago, they weren't talking about the gut being the second brain. They certainly weren't talking about it in a manner in which you are talking about it. What role does science play in the development, the further understanding of what you are talking about now? Because they weren't talking about that 30, 40 years ago.
Awesome thing is like advancement of science in which having studies that come out to prove the concept gives the opportunity for the clinical application to see the actual results. And that's what we have been seeing in the pharmacy in terms of it's not just the pharmaceuticals that are used to get like the new antibiotic, the new GLP-1 agonist, the new semaglutide. There is the same way there is advancement in what is happening in the gut when it comes to the natural medicine. So advancement that happen in the genomics, understanding the genes that affect metabolism, immunity, and aging, the microbiome research, which we didn't know maybe 15 years ago, it was still growing, but we didn't know how the vital gut bacteria work. We didn't know that back then. Well, imaging and biomarkers, which we can see the inflammation, the neurotransmitter imbalances, nutrient depletion. And then we have the computation science, the AI and data tracking and longitudinal studies and looking back and using this data that are collected over the years and making sense out of it. That all allowed us to have more than move from treating the symptom to understanding the system. And when we understand the system, we can create a product that can help the body. Because at the end of the day, we want to use this research to treat human beings.
You know, Dr. Omar, it is it's more than fascinating because as we are now in a period where they're working to kind of stop science and you know this is just a waste of time. This is a waste of
Yeah,
money. You know, we don't need to deal with the science anymore, so we'll cut this, we'll cut that. It really is the height of insanity when you can come on and talk about the impact of changes in people's lives that have been wrought by the scientific studies. 855-752-4842. You're officially in the pharmacy with Dr. Omar the Pharmacist. Any other questions or comments about anything that you want to discuss, you can do that now as always. You're officially in the pharmacy with Dr. Omar the Pharmacist on the Earl Ingram Show.
What's going on? Oh, what's going on? Right on. Right on. Right. Everybody thinks we're wrong. Oh, but who are they to judge us? Simply cause our hair is long. Oh, you know we've got to bring some understanding here today. Oh. Pick it loud and pick it sound. Don't punish me with brutality. Come on, talk to me so you can see what's going on. Yeah, what's going on? Tell me what's going on. I'll tell you what's going on. Ooh. Right on. Right on. Right on.
The following content is not intended as medical advice. Always consult your own physician, pharmacist, or healthcare professional for your own healthcare concerns.
Bringing you a passion for health and wellness. Dr. Omar Uliwa is here to answer your pharmaceutical questions. Now, let's go in the pharmacy with Earl Ingram and Dr. Omar.
Doctor, my eyes have seen the years and the slow parade of fears without pride. Now I want to understand. I have done all that I could to see the evil and the good without hiding. You must help me if you can. Doctor, my eyes, tell me what is wrong. Was I unwise to leave them open for so long?
All right, welcome back to In the Pharmacy with Dr. Omar the Pharmacist on the Earl Ingram Show. By the way, Dr. Omar, we're going to take that with us to our next destination. Welcome back to In the Pharmacy with Dr. Omar the Pharmacist on the Earl Ingram Show. If you have any questions or comments for Dr. Omar, now is the time, as always, throughout the show. We're willing to take your calls. Dr. Omar, I wanted to ask you, when you talk about the gut, and just the fact that the gut somehow you talked about microbes. What's a microbe, and what's its purpose?
Microbe is a harmful bacteria that we need to get rid of. And that was the focus of the antibiotics. They get rid of the microbes. But due to the need to have priorities in what we need to do, you get the antibiotic, it kills the good and the bad bugs. So we have patients that develop diarrhea and gut issues and actually mental issues after they take antibiotics. And that's why we're always recommending after you take a course of antibiotic to take a course of probiotics. But the catch is that it might take 6 months of taking probiotics to rebuild the healthy bacteria again in your gut. So how about if someone is taking several multiple courses of antibiotic, take Augmentin, then after that take another one, Z-Pack, and then get another infection. Oh, let's try a stronger antibiotic for upper respiratory tract. So within 1 or 2 years, you would find one of us would be taking 3, 4, 5, or even more courses of antibiotics. And I want to tell you, many of the patients that come to the pharmacy suffering from long-term diarrhea would come and tell you this all started after I had this health condition, and then I took those antibiotics, and now my gut is messed up, and then I check the medication profile and I see an antidepressant. When did you start it? Link it towards the time that these medications have been started. And that's Earl what have caused companies to come up with great products to mix between probiotics and other things to support mental health. I'm going to give you an example. I have a product called the Zenbiome Sleep. The Zenbiome Sleep. It's a probiotics product that has Bifidobacterium longum 1714. You see the name is long, Bifidobacterium longum 1714. That's what's called the psychotropic probiotics, psychobiotic. That's a probiotics that helps to support and relaxes the brain. All right. They found this in the research, and they mix it with L-theanine, which is an adaptogen that helps also to relax the brain and also helps to increase focus. And giving it also some lemon balm. You take it before you go to bed, so it will help you sleep better and helps your gut health. So you see the linkage now is in products that would help with the brain health and the gut health. So the microbes are bad. Getting rid of the bad guys need us to take some measures. After that, we need to rebuild our flora in the gut. And I want to tell you, when someone comes and picks up an antibiotic at Wiltopia, young or old, I take the time, I talk to them about probiotics, and I tell them, you know what, this is not paid by the insurance, but this is needed by your body.
You know, Dr. Omar, some of us, you know, have been dealing with this since the time, you know, we were young people. We've never had our gut health checked. We're into our 60, 70 years of age, and nobody's ever said anything to us about the importance of our guts. Have we done permanent damage to our guts, or can any of that be turned around?
It can be turned around, but according to the severity of the situation, some of the issues of, like, let's say I have like transient diarrhea, I have some constipation, we can treat it with some fiber and probiotics. And other patients, we use what we call stool analysis. And stool analysis is giving us a picture of the bacteria that's in the gut, mapping out the DNA structure of the little creatures in the gut, so that give us more deeper insight what we need to do to help. But also there is gut sensitivity test. And then the patient would say and tell me, this is overwhelming, where do I start? And I tell them, start with a consultation or meeting a functional medicine practitioner who knows what they are doing, who can work with your current set of doctors and nurse practitioners, who can help you to translate the labs and whatever you've been doing over the previous time of your life, to create a plan which looks at you as a human being, not as a high blood pressure patient or just patient coming with constipation. So you have to work with someone who understands what they are doing, because we are challenged with having too many sources of information. And many people now are going for ChatGPT to get answers, and they give good answers, don't get me wrong, but we need to use these answers to create a plan, and that's why we need more credibility.
So, Dr. Omar, before we, if someone wanted to get in touch with you, how do they do that?
262-429-9429, call or text, or go to the website, wiltopiarx.com.
855-752-4842 is the number. You are officially in the pharmacy with Dr. Omar the Pharmacist on the Earl Ingram Show.
Every now and then I get a little bit lonely and you're never coming around. Turn around. Every now and then I get a little bit tired of listening to the sound of my tears. Turn around. Every now and then I get a little bit nervous that the best of all the years have gone by. Turn around. Every now and then I get a little bit terrified, and then I see the look in your eyes. Turn around, bright eyes. Every now and then I fall apart. Turn around, bright eyes. Every now and then I fall apart. Every now and then I get a little bit restless and I dream of something wild.
All right, welcome back to the Earl Ingram Show. You're officially in the pharmacy with Dr. Omar the Pharmacist. Let me make this announcement, and then we'll get back to in the pharmacy with Dr. Omar. Beginning Wednesday, April 23rd, the Earl Ingram Show will be shifting its focus to local community content on 540 AM WAUK in Milwaukee, as well as special reporting starting with a limited podcast series focusing on the issue of lead in drinking water. I will continue to be a voice for local content on 540 AM WAUK throughout Milwaukee with local spots that will be broadcasting. Will be broadcast during moments with Pat Kreitlow. Additionally, as a correspondent with Civic Media, I will appear as a regular guest on the Civic Media Network shows to share details about this special reporting and podcast. Subscribe to the Earl Ingram Show wherever you listen to podcasts to stay up to date with all the digital exclusive content I will be releasing in the coming weeks and months. Again, we are officially back in the pharmacy with Dr. Omar the Pharmacist. Dr. Omar, gut health. I ask you again because there are people who, like myself, knew nothing about gut health. It didn't think anything about it. There was nothing to point me in that direction that my gut health, that my gut had a brain, if you will. And now that you're telling me, and now that I know that the key to a healthy life is through the gut, and here I've lived over 70 years and haven't paid any attention or any focus to it. You say that it's never too late. Is it safe to say that?
Never too late. We can start by visiting the department stores and shopping from the sides of the store, staying away from the middle, and try to, when you buy a product, try to make it less than 5 ingredients. Eat more vegetables, salads, eat a healthy breakfast, because serotonin, happy hormone, happens and gets created in the gut. And when you wake up, your gut wakes up and you go running and you go like being hunted by this lion. The cortisol production in the body is at the peak in the early morning. So I tell people, like, if you want to eat meat and you can make part of it in the morning with breakfast, do it. I start my day by a very healthy meal or a rich meal because I know that I am going to crunch it through the day. By 1 or 2 p.m., you're already, most of the planning of the day has finished. But people drink coffee and just say, I'm not hungry until it's 12 or 1 p.m. when I'm super hungry, anxious, nervous. And then we wait 5-10 years living this lifestyle. We get type 2 diabetes. We have problems sleeping. We are eating the largest meal before we go to bed by 1 or 2 hours, and we have indigestion. We start to take omeprazole, pantoprazole for gut health, for acid reflux. That also destroys the healthy bacteria in the gut. So if we've done something wrong or didn't eat and live healthy most of our lives, and we want to change things today, it's going to take a while. You're not going to take a magic supplement or a magic drug, or you're not going to take something for the constipation that you have and the doctor writes it on the prescription pad and you find out, okay, I'm fine by taking this pill or capsule. Living healthy is an investment in your best health, and I really support anyone who starts today, because there's no better time than now, because tomorrow is going to be better when you do that, Earl.
You know, Dr. Omar, it is, again, I've been in radio for a little while now, and I've had many different segments uh, on the airways that I've been on, but none as important as our segment. And, you know, that's why I know, man, wherever I go, I got to make sure that there's going to be an In the Pharmacy with Dr. Omar the Pharmacist, because, I mean,
Thank you, Earl. Means a lot to me.
to this today, right? Let's go to the phone line. Let's go to Lee. Good morning to you, Lee. Thank you very much for the call. You have a question or comment for Dr. Omar?
Yeah. Good morning, Earl. Dr. Omar, I have a friend that recently is touting what seems to me to be a new product. He calls it H2 tablets and hydrogen, oxygen. It's confusing to me, but he gives it all kinds of benefits. I'll disconnect. And do you know anything about this so-called product? Thank you.
Well, thank you very much for the question.
So these are products that help to deliver what we say molecular hydrogen, H2, to the body. And these molecular hydrogen, they are small, non-polar, which means it can easily diffuse or come to the tissues and the cells. And they are used for there are studies that show that these H2 tablets are helping to improve glucose metabolism, helps to protect against oxidation, high LDL, lowers inflammation, can help with also respiratory health. So they can help some patients with COPD. It just kind of think of it as a way to decrease oxidative stress, or to help with detoxification in the body, and helps the cells be more sharpened. So it's one of the trends that come out and can be added to someone's supplements that they take. Good question, Lee. I like that, because we have an excellent H2 product, and I have some very specific patients that come ask for it.
You know, Dr. Omar, I mean, what do you got? There are millions of supplements, millions of pills, and so there's an endless supply of things to address your body and where your body is. How do you know? Which ones to take? How do you know if I'm mixing the wrong things and I'm going by what somebody told me, a friend in the bar said, oh, by the way, I can tell you about some of the greatest. Do you just go by what you're hearing? Or clearly that's not reasonable enough today, is it?
It's the challenge is, like, we are collecting pills and capsules and supplements of bottles that can be sometimes very expensive over the years. So I always say we're going to start with organization of your medication cabinet, making sure that we are prioritizing the medicine, and we are supporting the supplements that you take with a good multivitamin, good B complex, good fish oil, omega-3. And then we see if you're taking certain medications, you might need CoQ10. I see it needed for most people above 40 years old. Many people take statins, so CoQ10 gets to be very important. Probiotics, 6 months in 1 year would cut the chase of meds and supplements and stress and all of that. So probiotics, 6 months in 1 year. And there are some probiotics for different cases. And we go from there. We try to build on the bulk, on the basic thing. If you're a patient who's taking an ADHD medication like Vyvanse or Adderall, it would be great if you take omega-3 fish oil, because that will help to decrease the neuroinflammation, supports brain health, improves the memory, and gives you the empowerment that you can do without taking the medication every single day. So brain health supplements are also, look at the bulk, the main thing. I want to be strong. I want to have the micronutrients that's in a good multivitamin. And I'm not talking about a cheap multivitamin that you can get for $3-4. I'm talking about multivitamin that maybe will cost you $1 a day for a pill or a capsule, but it will be empowered with 10 times better micronutrients. Think of things from orthomolecular, from designs for health. We have active life that has the D, the C, the vitamin Bs, the eye health supplements. That's one of the supplements that you take, Earl, and I think
I,
we've been talking about it a little bit, right?
I take it every day, and it certainly has been an elixir for me and my health and keeping me strong, amongst other things. But I would ask you, Dr. Omar, statins. People are prescribed statins. Statins are one of the most prescribed medications that there is. But
Yeah.
statins break down your muscle. Do they break down the muscle or what? They certainly take something away from you, because before I met you, I never took the CoQ10 or whatever that's called, and so why am I taking the CoQ? How do you pronounce that?
CoQ10.
CoQ10. Why am I taking that? I've been taking statins for 20 years and never knew that the statins had a side effect to them. Why don't we know about those things early on before we've taken them for 20 years? And then I remember the first time I saw you, first thing you said was you need CoQ10. I'm like, what's CoQ10? I
Let's
take
think about it.
CoQ10 every day now. But how? What
So,
was it, because of my age or what?
so the statins are a very important medications. They help to lower the bad cholesterol, the LDL, by 18 to 55%. Some statins like rosuvastatin have proven to actually decrease inflammation of the cardiac muscle. Uh, they are helpful, and for many people, we need to get the numbers under a certain threshold to make sure that they don't have a stroke or a heart attack. And the studies are proving and showing it, and that's why we have like more than 40-50% of people that take heart medications are taking statins. So it's cost effective, it helps to reduce cardiovascular health, but it has side effects, which is muscle related. People can experience muscle pain, cramps, and weakness. Part of the problem is that statins prevent the production of CoQ10, which is a very important coenzyme, which it helps with the production of energy inside the cells, inside the mitochondria, inside the cells, which is the brain of the cell. And people without statins after 40 years of age already produce less CoQ10. So many people would tell you after 40 years of age, we feel low energy, we have muscle pains, and that can be attributed to low CoQ10. And it's actually in the literature, in the drug pamphlet of any statin, that they would affect the production of CoQ10. And that's why it's an easy solution. Drug-induced nutrition depletion, let's replace it. Let's take CoQ10. But the challenge that comes also is what kind of CoQ10? Because we need that CoQ10 to go deep into the cells. And that's why we try to find the right CoQ10 that's absorbed by the body. We have an excellent product called CoQnol 200 that mixes between giving CoQ10 and also helping the body produce its own CoQ10. People take this couple of months. They have had muscle pain while taking a statin, it goes away, less brain fog and lower blood pressure, and so many health benefits as a longevity supplement, I would say.
Well, I'll
That's
tell
one
you,
of the core supplements we use,
it was one of the first things you prescribed for me was CoQ10. I'm still taking it now, every day. 855-752-4842. You're officially in the pharmacy with Dr. Omar the Pharmacist. Hang on the phone lines. We'll come right to you. You're officially in the pharmacy with Dr. Omar the Pharmacist on the Earl Ingram Show.
Nothing I can say, a total eclipse of the heart. know you'll never be the boy you always wanted to be. Turn around. Every now and then I know you'll always be the only boy who wanted me the way that I am. Every now and then I know there's no one in the universe as magical and wonders as you. Every now and then I know there's nothing anywhere. There's nothing that I just wouldn't do. Every now and then I fall apart. Every now and then I fall apart. And I need you now tonight. And I need you more than ever. And if you hold me tight, we'll be holding on forever. And we'll only be naked if right. Cause we'll never be wrong. Together we can take it to the end of the line. Love is like a shadow on me all of the time. I don't know what to do. I'm always in the dark. Living in a party I can get off spot. I really need you tonight. In the morning sun, I feel you touch me in the pouring rain. And the moment that you wander far from me, I wanna feel you in my arms again. And you come to me on a summer breeze, keep me warm in your love, then you softly leave. And it's me you need to share.
All right, welcome back to In the Pharmacy with Dr. Omar the Pharmacist on the Earl Ingram Show. As always, you can join us at 855-752-4842. Dr. Omar is willing to take any questions or comments you may have. Dr. Omar, how can people get in touch with you?
People can always call at 262-429-9429 or go to wiltopiarx.com.
And Cardi, if people want to be able to now capture all of this great information that we've been able to gather with Dr. Omar the Pharmacist over the last year or so, how can they do that?
Well, Earl, they can always log into civicmedia.us, check out the podcast on that episode by clicking on the Earl Ingram Show, and also check out the YouTube page at Civic Media, click on Earl Ingram, and you'll be able to see every episode from day one until today.
Oh, that's great. That's great news. Let's go to Mark. Good morning to you, Mark. Thank you very much for the call. You say what?
Hello. First, a quick question, Earl. On Mondays, is Reggie Jackson your frequent guest?
Yes, he has been.
Okay. The comment I have in terms of health, I just wanted to recommend a book by Jane Roberts called The Way Toward Health. That's all. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much for the call. You know, Dr. Omar, when you talk about health, and I was talking to you earlier before we came on the air, and I was saying, you know, I mean, I've cut back a lot on meat, man. I used to be a carnivore, man. They just give me some meat, right? Meat. Give me meat on the plate's got to be meat, you know. And as I've gotten older, my body doesn't agree with meat as much as it once did. And so I was telling you about watching horses and rhinoceroses and elephants and the largest animals, land animals on earth, buffaloes, they don't eat meat. And so when we talk about muscle development, those animals have tremendous muscles and they don't eat meat. And so you were telling me the difference between their bodies and our bodies, and the difference, if you please.
Yeah, so the horse, well, actually, yeah, it's weird that we see the animal kingdom has animals that have like awesome muscles, but they don't eat meat like the horses. But they have kind of digestive system adaptations. Well, they have this kind of, they can ferment in their colons very efficiently, extract the nutrients from the fibrous plant materials. And also, they have continuous grazing activity. They graze for many hours daily and are naturally active, promoting consistent muscle engagement and development. There is also different muscle fiber composition. In us humans, when we go plant-based diet, the challenge is like there is incomplete amino acid profiles in many plant proteins, and it's hard for us to absorb these kind of proteins in the beans, in the seeds and the nuts. And that's why replacing with branched chain amino acids and taking protein shakes for plant-based diet people is important. Okay, so this need to be careful dietary planning because not everyone can be vegetarian based on I want to be as strong as this athlete who is also vegetarian. You have to calculate it, make sure that you get your proteins, you get your vitamin B12, you have healthy gut, because unfortunately, I see many vegetarian human beings live with us that eat many processed foods, thinking that this is healthy and it is not. So and meat is not the enemy. If vegetarians is a good and great concept and great way of life. We just have to calculate it perfectly and be realistic. And that's why I love pharmacy, because it gives us the tools to look at the science and help empower people with lifestyle changes, change in their medications and supplements to create a better health.
Well, Dr. Omar, as fate would have it, my better half is on the line. She doesn't call, but this is my wife, Allie. You have a question or comment for the doctor?
Of course, a comment. Thank you so much. And Cardi, I love the look on your face when you're looking at that screen like Earl. Yeah. Hi, Dr. Omar.
Hi, Allie. How are you
We
doing?
love you. And
Thank you.
I'm limited, I already know. But oh my God, your pills, your vitamin B, first of all, off the chain. I mean, it was so perfect. I had those little tremors, and you said vitamin B, and ever since, no problem. Your CoQ10, awesome. Your calcium, okay, I'm old, so I needed everything. And you have it there at your pharmacy. And your knowledge is, wow. I'm just overwhelmed. I
Thank
should
you,
have
Allie.
called you earlier. But thank you. Thank you so much.
All right. Dr. Omar, it's not the end because you and I will certainly continue to give the life-changing information and knowledge that you provide. I'll continue to tell people about Welltopia Pharmacy. I'll continue to make my treks back and forth to the pharmacy to see you until we meet again on the podcast. It's always been great, and it's not so long. It's not goodbye. It's a respite, but we'll be back together soon.
We'll be back. Thank you, Earl. I appreciate
Thank you.
everything you do.
Thank you
Thank
as
you,
well.
Allie.
That's
Appreciate you.
Dr.
Thank you,
Omar the
Cardi.
Pharmacist. Dr. Omar the Pharmacist. Love you, man. We'll talk soon.
Love you, friend. Take
All
care.
right.
Talk soon. Take care.
Up next on the Earl Ingram Show, I'm going to give you a chance to get to know who I really am. Up next on the Earl Ingram Show.
When they all should let us be, we belong to you and me. I believe in you. You know the door to my very soul. You're the light in my deepest, darkest doubt. You're my savior when I fall. And you may not think
to the Earl Ingram Show. As always, you can join us at 855-752-4842. That's 855-752-4842. You can text us at that same number. So here's what I'm going to do. Carter, if you cut that music, please. I thought about this, and so next Tuesday is going to be my last show on the air. On the Earl Ingram Show as it's presently constituted. And so as the days wind down, and Monday's show tomorrow's show is my good friend Sandy Williams, and Monday's show is solely for, giving you, the listening audience, an opportunity to talk about what the show meant to you and those things, and how honored I am that whatever we were able to do with the show, it was because of the audience, not because of me. And so Monday's show is clearly slated for that. Tuesday, I've got a wonderful man who is going to be in the studio, who has built some wealth. And as he ages, he has realized that having all the money in the world, having all this wealth, as he ages, he's giving it away. And he's talking to other people who, are doing well, to, the importance of that. So let me give you a little background on Earl Ingram. First off, I was born in 1954. I was the seventh of 13 children to Earl Ingram Sr. and Georgia, my mother. They migrated here from Warren and Pine Bluff, Arkansas. And
it's crazy. That's where my dad's from.
And so I lived, we grew up and we lived in a community that was safe. We didn't have money, a whole lot of money, but what we had was family, and my parents, who were married for 66 years before the evil consequences of time, claimed my mother. I had a mother and father in my life for 66 years of my life. And I learned so much in coming from a family of 13. I learned the important things in life weren't money, weren't monetary, because we didn't have that. We lived in a community that was intact, where families were intact. Father went to work, mother stayed home. It was at a time when a father could go to work and a mother with 13 children could stay home and rear those children and, and keep a roof over our heads. I was never hungry, never felt unsafe, always had clothes on my back, food to eat, and direction in my life. And so as I wound up going to, when I went to high school, I actually grew up in a segregated community, an all-Black community in Milwaukee, because back in those days, there was no such thing as integration. And so 1968 changed all of that, 67, when the Civil Rights Bill was passed. And finally in this nation, people were able to move into communities that were forbidden. I've lived through that in my lifetime. So from kindergarten through 6th grade, I went to an all-Black reality. I lived in an all-black reality. From 7th grade, 1 year between 6th and 7th grade, I wound up, because of the civil rights bills that were passed, and my father was able to move us into a different community. I moved into a predominantly white community, and where it was 98% white. We were one of the first families to move in. And when you're a black family in 1968 and you move into a all-white community with 13 children, it didn't take long before that community changed into an all-black community. But I went to a 99% white middle school, from a 100% black grade school, a 99% white middle school, and then a 98% white Jewish high school. And so I learned some valuable lessons in my life about race at an early age. Well, once I left the high school, and, you know, my father worked at a place called A.O. Smith. And so I was scheduled to go to University of Stout University. And because I was from a family of such a large family, I said I was going to wind up going to work where my father was during the summer before I would go on to a university. And my father warned me, he said, don't come out here. But he couldn't tell me why I shouldn't come there. So I graduated from Washington High School in 1972 in June. In September, I walked into a place called A.O. Smith, an automobile manufacturing plant. Well, 34 years later, I walked out of that plant. So I spent 34 years in that plant. Needless to say, I never wound up going to college. I got a high school diploma in 1972, and I've never had any other formal education in my life. None. My high school diploma was it as far as organized education. My wife has known me since I was 14 years old. I'm 70, I'll be 71. My wife has known me that long. So nobody knows me better, you know, than her. And we'll be celebrating our 43rd anniversary on, let me get it wrong, April 26th. And so we've been together that long. And so I want to say to people, I'm a servant. At the root of who I am is a servant. So, you know, my wife and I took in, I've said this story before, a disabled young man at the age of 2 who requires 24-hour care. He required 24-hour care at the time we took him in. A young man is now 23 years old. He's a 23-year-old man who still requires 24-hour care. And we still have him. And we're going to have him because I realized and learned some valuable lessons in life early in life. I haven't lived my life trying to acquire things. Man, I've never owned a new car. I've certainly made enough money to buy a new car, but new cars don't tickle my fancy. Right? I learned how to be happy without a lot of money. I was happy as a young boy because what we had was family and community. And so I learned that throughout my life. There was one man in particular who I saw outside of my father and marveled at and patterned myself after. and that was Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King. I saw him give of himself. I saw him sacrifice his life. And it was at a very young age that I realized that I was a servant and that what I was going to do with my life is serve. And so I'm going to tell you a little bit about some of the service that I've been doing in my life, not to brag, because I'm way beyond that. That is not the purpose for what I'm going to reveal to you in the next, few minutes before, the end of the show. It is because I realize the value of serving. Now, that's really kind of, the fact that I'm doing what I'm doing now, nobody could have ever predicted that a guy who worked in a factory for 34 years, where nobody cared what I had to say, from 18 to 54, go do your job. I did my job, sometimes 8 hours a day, sometimes 12 hours a day, sometimes 7 days a week. I was a laborer and eventually wound up doing some other things. But I'm going to continue this as we move forward. Our phone lines are always open at 855-752-4842. But I thought on this, and I said it's important that before I leave these airwaves, that people really get to know who I really am. And so we're going to get that. You're going to get that opportunity. 855-752-4842. You're tuned into the Earl Ingram Show.
Mysteries do unfold, 'cause that's the way of time. Nothing and no one goes unchanged. There are not many things in life you can be sure of, except rain falls from the clouds and sun lights up the sky and hummingbirds do fly. Nothing baby. everything must change. Nothing stays the same. No, no. Everyone must change. Nothing stays the same. The young become the old. Mysteries do unfold. 'Cause that's the way of time. Nothing and no one goes unchanged. There are not many things in life you can be sure of, except rain comes from the clouds and sun lights up the sky, and hummingbirds do fly. Winter turns to spring. Wounded heart will heal. Yes, it will. But never much too soon. Everything must change. The young become the old. Mysteries do.
All right. Welcome back to the Earl Ingram Show. George Benson and everything must change. Nothing and no one goes unchanged. And so it is with the Earl Ingram and the Earl Ingram Show. Let me say, I was saying before the break that after spending 34 years in the factory, I used to listen to conservative talk radio. I listened to talk radio all the time. And so I just kept listening to talk radio. And nobody ever told me I could be somebody in my life. And so I didn't have aspirations. And so after spending 34 years doing my job, I would call conservative talk radio. And they would be talking about my community in a not so good way. And I began to push back because I found my voice. I found my voice in fighting for my union members at A.L. Smith, for injustice. And so my entire life, I fought for injustice. People who were mistreated. People who couldn't fight for themselves. If for no other reason, the marginalized, the people who are human beings, and yet people in such a cruel, cold world don't think that those people have any value. Listen, this is the wealthiest nation on earth, but it's cruel and cold because people value things and money over human beings. I've never understood that in my life. And even at this point in my life, I don't understand a world that people value things and accomplishments over human beings, man. I'll go to my grave never understanding that. So anyway, I've been a servant. And so I began to serve. I spent 20 years, as former mayor of the city of Milwaukee said the other day, running the largest youth tackle football program in the state. Tens of thousands of boys, ages 6 to 14 years old. 5 months, 6 months out of a year dedicating my time as the president of the Neighborhood Children's Sports League, serving and improving the lives of children and their families. 20 years. 5 days, 6 days a week, and my wife allowed me to do that. I couldn't have done any of that without her because I had a young family and I was working 6, 7 days a week. And so we had a major impact on their lives. And many of those boys at that time are now men. Some of them middle-aged men. They come to me and they say, Mr. Ingram, do you remember me? And I look up at them and they're 6'4" and they weigh 300 pounds. And they say, man, I played football for Michigan State. Or I played football at Ohio State. And man, you don't know what you did for me. And I'm an attorney, or I'm this, or I'm that, or I have a family, man, and I work every day, and it started with you. But guess what? That league is still running today. And same thing, many children's lives being changed. But that wasn't the end. Somehow, Willie Davis, the former Hall of Fame Green Bay Packer, heard me talking and challenging conservative talk radio, and he put me on the air without any background. And I did my show from Capitol Hill 4 years in a row, the only non-syndicated talk show host in the United States of America who was given an opportunity to interview congressmen, senators, entertainers, to do my show from the United States Supreme Court. This is all true. A young man with no educational background, formal. 855-752-4842. I'm going to continue this on the other side. You're tuned into the Earl Ingram Show.
Climbing the stairway to heaven. Here we go. Walking the road of ecstasy. Taking the load of this old world off our shoulders. The door is wide open for you. The door is open for me. Here we go. Still in a moment of pleasure. You and I, we're gonna find the pirate's treasure. Here we go. Oh, baby. Here we go. Climbing the stairway to heaven. Climbing the stairway to heaven. And we're going step by step. Together, step by step. Oh, yeah. How do I say goodbye to what we had? The good times that made us laugh outweigh the bad. I thought we'd get to see forever, but forever has flown away. It's so hard to say goodbye to yesterday. To yesterday. I don't know where this road is gonna lead to. All I know is where we've been and what we've been through. If it gets me to tomorrow, I hope it's worth all the pain. It's so hard to say goodbye to yesterday. To yesterday. And I'll take with me the memories to be my sunshine after the rain. It's so hard to say goodbye to yesterday. To yesterday.
All right. It's so hard to say goodbye to yesterday. And before I go to the phone lines, let me finish this up quickly. And so I, after I wound up having the opportunity of a lifetime to do radio, and to be able to do all those things that I did, I also wound up with national recognition because at the time, the top black talk show host in the nation gave me an opportunity to fill in for him at least 25, 30 times. I used to do 6 hours of radio a day. I did that for a long time. And then when I thought my 15 minutes of fame was over, I got a call from a guy named Mike Crute. And he resurrected my radio career. He took me off the scrap heap. That wound up catapulting me into civic media. And so I'm thankful and forever thankful for civic media for giving me a chance to, get back on the airways. But I know nothing lasts forever. And so I'm thankful for the time I had with you, this listening audience. It's not the end, because, I'm going to still be connected and doing some things with civic media. But the last thing I'll say is, after, I did those 20 years in my football league, I then spent 12 years volunteering in Milwaukee Public Schools. And then when I figured, and it's finally over, I don't need to do any more of this, there was such a horrific situation that was occurring in my community. Young boys dying in stolen cars, 10, 12 years old. And I waited for people to do something. I said, somebody's got to do something. And I said, well, I've done my job. And God kept talking to me, kept working with me. And so 3 years ago, I created a nonprofit called Voices of the Elders. And so that's a bunch of men 60 and above. And what we do is we mentor young boys 10 to 13 years of age. And what we do is make sure they get what I never got. Hey, you can be somebody. You are somebody. Your life has value. Doesn't matter where you came from. Don't ever let anybody tell you that your life doesn't have value. Because we live in a world that crushes the weak. And so as you know, whatever time I have left, it's going to be spent with making sure that young boys never hear that they can't be somebody or they can't be something. All right, let's go to the phone lines. Jojo, you're first up, man. Thank you very much. You say what?
The world has need of you. And I'm in the early 80s. I'm on my third childhood. I didn't enjoy the other two in particular, but you are just getting rolling. And you can think of being 71 as retro 18. I mean, retro 17. And then you can go retro 18. And there's just so much, you have so much to offer. And
I'm not leaving,
we're here to
Jojo.
support you.
Jojo, I'm not leaving.
You're right. You're not.
No.
You're not.
No.
You're not.
Thank
stay blessed to be the blessing that you are.
Thank
I'll
you.
let you go.
Thank you very much.
I'll let you for now.
Thank you very much.
And you call. Okay.
I'm only a phone
Bye.
call away. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Hey, Mike from Kenosha, you're up next, man. You say what?
Good morning, Earl. You know, listening to your show this morning, I think certainly me, but I would have to speak for most of us out there in your audience, the joy and love of community that you have within your soul. You know, you're a proud cheesehead. You're a proud American. And what your story about, you know, how you listen to conservative talk radio and then after a while listening to it, you know, you push back because nobody was. That's exactly my story too. That's funny. You and I have walked in these steps together throughout, you know, the last 20, 25 years. We listened to right-wing conservative media just take over the airways with hate speech.
Yes.
And disrespecting human beings and one another, our communities, at all costs. I mean, that was their whole mantra. So, you know, we watched it morph into really something completely different. And what you did is you stepped up. You did public involvement in community service. And, you know, that's what I want to applaud. You know, you saw, just like I did 20 years ago, in listening to the hate speech haters of America, tearing America apart at every opportunity, creating division and divide and conquer. So, you know, we have, both of us, you and I both have a great
Hey, Mike, let me say this to you.
And I promise.
You and I are going to stay. You and I are going to stay in contact because, you know, there's some things that I want to do with you. So for now, I bid you adieu. But you and I are going to stay in contact. Thank you very much, Al. You're up next.
Where the party at? Ain't that repass somewhere around here? What?
Hey, man.
You know I got a clown.
Hey, man. Hey, I said it's not the end. It's not the end.
It's supposed to be a repass or something.
Yeah.
You know, they got food and whatever.
He said a repass.
Man. Huh? I've been at a funeral all morning.
Oh, man. Hey,
feed me.
Hey, yeah. If you know me, and you do know me, and you know I'm not done.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. Where the party at? It's time to get off that horse. It's boogie time, man. Come on.
Hey, look, Al. When I leave here today, I'll be working, doing what I've been doing for the last 40 years.
And I'm still 29.
Yeah.
Nah.
Hey,
All right, man.
all right, I'll get back with you. Thank you very much for the call. Rich, you're up next.
Bye.
Bye. Rich.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
I want to salute you. And also, I'd like to just say that there was a song that I used to listen to when I was younger, really hard to, called Downtown.
Yeah.
Back in the 60s and
Oh,
70s.
yeah.
I don't know if I've heard that
when
in a
lights
while.
are when lights are bright
downtown.
and things are making you lonely,
Yeah.
you can always go downtown. Listen to the rhythm of the yeah.
Yeah. I salute you and have a great one.
The lights are much brighter there. You can forget all your troubles, forget all your cares, and go downtown. Thank you very much, Rich. I remember that song as well.
Bye.
All right. My
Bye.
good friend Sharky. Hey, Sharky, how you doing, man?
Good morning, and I have to tell you that I was a little sad when I was thinking you were going to be gone, but I'm so glad you're staying. And I tell you what, I want to thank you for allowing me in your life because it's made a difference.
You know,
And
Sharky,
so
you and I aren't done either because I have your number, you have mine. And you know the work that I'm doing in the city. You came and supported us and my elders, and we haven't forgotten, and there's room for you at the end. So, you know, I'm still going to be around. I'm just talking about this show in the format that it's in.
Absolutely. And, you know, I had one of the best days of my life is when we were throwing turkeys around Thanksgiving last year.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Your people were there. Everybody worked hard. Everyone worked with each other, and the smiles and the turkey call. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was. Well, Sharky, you know, it just means we're going to have more time, you and I, to commiserate together. And so this is not the end. So I listen, I'm not crying crocodile tears. I just wanted to reminisce, and that's what I just did in this last 40 minutes or so. But I'm not done, okay? I don't want anybody to think I'm done. I'm going to still be around civic media. And in a different format. It's going to afford me the opportunity to work with this young man that we've dedicated our lives to, who is now 23 years old and who probably needs me more now than he ever did before, because one of the most difficult things in the world to do, Sharky, and I know you will attest to it, is to become a man. And if you have disabilities and you struggle to become, it's tough enough if you don't have any disabilities. But if you have disabilities and trying to become a man, it's very difficult. So I will have more opportunity. You know, charity starts at home and then it's spread abroad. So, you know, I don't see it.
Our home is your home.
Yes, sir.
Our home here in Racine is your home.
It's
So
Sharky.
you belong there too.
Sharky, I'm not going anywhere. I'll be coming back and forth to the studio. So thank you very much. We'll talk soon. 855-752-4842. You know, it's not the end. It's the beginning.
It's so hard to say goodbye to yesterday. I don't know where this road is gonna lead to. All I know is where we've been and what we've been through. If it gets me to tomorrow, I hope it's worth all the pain. It's so hard to say goodbye to to yesterday. To yesterday. And I'll take with me the You must be a special lady.
You'll be singing first and no, Harry, I'm singing second, man.
And a very exciting girl.
I'll bring that bass out, man.
Hey, man, I'll bring it out a little bit more.
You gotta be a special lady.
Let's get down on some come on.
Cause you got me sitting on top of the world. Sitting on top of the world.
Somehow I knew it would be you to change my gray skies to blue. And it was strange when you called my name. Ever since that day, I haven't been the same. Ooh, before I met you, my sun didn't want to shine. But all of a sudden, you sneak up from behind. I went the weasel in my mind.
Special lady. And a very exciting girl.
So exciting.
All right, welcome back to the Earl Ingram Show. I just wanted to play that for my wife, Allie, of 43 years, as we head towards our 44th anniversary. You know, very special lady who changed my life. Let's go back to the phone lines. Mary, how you doing, Mary? Thank you very much for calling.
Good morning, Earl. It sounds like your accolades have started well before Monday, as they should. I'm not going to be available to call in Monday. I'll be listening. But it's been a pleasure to know you as a neighbor and the guiding force that you've been in my life. And then regarding guiding force, which I'll name as the universe, some people call it God, it's definitely been there for you. And lastly, in my life experience, and I've got 9 years on you, I always look for the positives in any change. And I think that the best is yet to come for you. I wish you well.
Thank you very much. I'm not going anywhere. Okay. Thank you very much, Mary. Love you. Let's go to Jim from Brookfield. Good morning to you, Jim. You say what?
I say good morning, Earl. Looking forward to the new chapter, listening to the podcast and whatnot. I just want to let you know the small world part of things. My brother, same age as you, worked at A.O. Smith. It's almost the same exact time period, almost 30-some years. Buildings 1 and 65 is where he worked. John in Buildings 1 and 65. I'll text you more information on him. But he seemed to think that he ran across you a few times and you might have met. So anyway,
I was a troublemaker, man. When there was injustice, when there was injustice, I was there fighting. I wish I had more time, Jim. We can do it on Monday. Thank you very much for the call. Let's go to Rocky. Good morning to you, Rocky. You say what?
Good morning, Earl.
Yes, sir.
I feel like I'm in the kitchen when I hear you talk. Clyde Stubblefield, the funky drummer from Madison, his song is "Parties in the Kitchen."
Yeah.
I don't know if you know that or not. One of his songs, I should say. He's in the Hall of Blues, I believe, or if he isn't, he will be. Anyway, he's deceased, but he makes me think of you too, Earl. You're wonderful.
Hey, man, thank you. I'm just an average guy, man. That's all I am. I'm nobody
you're
special.
a bright light, man. You're a bright light. You're going to go coast to coast is what's next for you.
Well, listen, man.
More than you are now. You're going to be heard wider and wider.
Well, I don't want to go anywhere, man. I just want to be your neighbor. Thank you very much for the call. CJ, what's happening, man?
Neighbor. Thank you.
All right, thank you. CJ, what's happening?
Hey, Earl. Good morning to you. I appreciate your story, and I appreciate your show. As you know, I don't agree with you quite often, but occasionally you'll take my call and let me get a couple of sentences out. But really, I like listening to your show. I guess the direction that you want to take the country or the people, we probably want to get to the same place, but a different direction or a different route. And I just wanted to let you know.
Well, thank you, man. It's been a pleasure. But you and I aren't done as well. Talk to you soon. Hey, Cassandra, what's happening?
Hi, Earl. I just wanted to say how much I enjoyed your show. It was just something I looked forward to on my days off or between grading and everything. And so I just want you to know how much I've appreciated you and your wisdom and the knowledge that you've imparted over the years. I did learn a lot from you. So I just wish you success and peace and happiness wherever you might land.
You know, Cassandra,
that's all
I thank you very much. And I know that I'll always have success and peace as long as I understand the importance of serving, because I know that's the key. And all of us have the ability to serve. You don't need letters behind your name. You don't need to have the biggest bank account. You don't need to be the smartest person in the world. If you look around you, there are people who need to be supported. And that's the key to being happy. Thank you very much. Let's bring line one on quickly. We'll end it with line one. Who do we have? Just go ahead.
Are you talking to me?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, my goodness. Well, today I'm not a chicken. Today I am actually calling and talking on the phone. Earl, when you and Gilbert Brown were on, I laughed so hard, and that was the beginning of me talking to you.
Yeah.
And like everybody who's listening today, whatever you do, I know your path is being led in the right direction as always.
Hey, Sandra, thank you very much. Thank everybody who made the show go. As always, for Al, it's not a morning now, it's a new beginning. And so Monday, we'll really get down into it. But thank everybody who made the show go. I'll be back on tomorrow. You've been tuned into the Earl Ingram Show.
So out of key, then you came and gave my song a melody. Thanks to you for pulling me through. I've always lost, but now